We are the Blender community, where business and media mix.
Okay. Hello there.
Hey, what's up, Jordon?
Hello. So, the ceiling. So, hello. You are Mr. Paul Eza. Please tell me I pronounced your last name right. I
You
pronounced it
got it.
correctly. Okay.
Perfect.
So, Mr. Paul Eza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so am I. I have questions because I love comics. Oh, I love comics. Comics are my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I will die for comics. I will put my life on the line. I will go save a cat from a burning building for comics. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
That's going a little far. I mean, I'd save a cat from
No,
a
it's not.
burning building
No,
just because it's a cat. But
No, it's not. Shush, shush. That's not the important part. The important part is that it's for comic books. You think about it, it makes sense. So, I am a big fan of the medium, and I think that the ins and outs of it are very intricate and interesting. So, I have some questions. So, I read Heroes and Zeros for the first time today. And
Oh, wow.
I do have to, because I didn't buy a copy, so I stole my mom's. I mean, I borrowed my mom's. So
they're meant to be shared.
yeah. So I am wondering a little bit about that because I noticed it's sort of like this issue Heroes and Zeros is very hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So explain to me, what is Heroes and Zeros? What is this comic book that I'm holding in my hands right now?
All right, so Heroes and Zeros is the very first comic book I ever wrote. This was the one that when I decided I want to do this, I want to write comic books. This is the first story I developed and started typing out. It is the kind of log line for it is X-Men meets Scooby-Doo in the future.
Yeah.
And so that's and I think now you've read it, you probably can see some of those elements. Like you've got, people have evolved to develop superpowers, except now most people have superpowers. And the Zeros from the title are the ones who are in this future that don't have any powers. And so then we get into the Scooby-Doo element, which is that it is a murder mystery focused on three Zeros who are trying to solve the murder of the most powerful man in the world.
And the most powerful man in the world, I could tell. He reminded me, and I just noticed this a lot in modern superhero media. Whenever like a new hero is made and they have to be like the trope of the strongest, they always kind of default to Superman. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I love Superman. So I'm never complaining.
Well,
but
and
I do have to.
You're right.
Yeah.
And there was at the very beginning when we're learning about the kind of the history of this world.
Yeah.
And Allison mentions the first, like the legendary very first superhero is basically that, he can fly, he's strong.
Yeah, he's practically Superman.
There's only but so many powers, and let's face it, that's a pretty cool combination
so
Superman's
cool.
got.
Like, I mean, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I do wonder though, how long have you liked superheroes for? Like, how many years? Like, since childhood, forever?
My entire life, as far as I know. When I was little, I would read comics with my dad, and those would be, or I should say, my dad would read the comics to me, even long past the point where I could have read them myself, because it was just, it was a thing that we did together. And we would read Superman, we would read Batman, we would read Justice League. Those were sort of the regular three titles that we would follow. But that was also, and your mom will know this, so you may or may not, because I'm talking about a really old TV show. There was, when I was little, there was a TV show of the Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I think I saw one episode of that.
It was, like the real old school, like early 80s.
Have you ever heard of the Spider-Man show from the 70s?
Oh yeah.
The lenses looked like drain covers.
Oh yeah. It was I mean, when I was a kid, I loved it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but
I mean, like, it has its charm. Yes. But I do wonder, though, since you've loved superheroes since, like, forever, who's been your favorite?
It probably was the Hulk.
Yeah.
And that was,
again,
that was 5-year-old Paul wanted to be the Hulk. And that was from that TV show. So I've stuck with them ever since, and there's been a lot of, and in fact, the Hulk is what got me sort of back into comics when I got older. Because there was a time where, not that I didn't still like the stories and the characters and everything, I just wasn't reading comics anymore.
Yeah.
And I got back into it as an adult, and part of that was from a Hulk comic book, a Hulk graphic novel that was called Future Imperfect. And that was written by two of my biggest influences now. I mean, at that point, it was just like, oh, this looks like something cool to read. But it was written by Peter David.
I've seen the ads in books recently. Didn't he pass away recently?
He did, yeah. And then it was illustrated by George Perez.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of him.
Yes.
I think I've seen a variant cover or two of his in the comic book story.
I'm sure you haven't. And look, if you haven't, when we're done with this, I'll show you some stuff.
Yeah, because I recognize that name, though. I might have seen that. Anyways, so there's a big difference between favorite and best. So I do wonder, though, like, what characters and elements inspired, in particular, Heroes and Zeros?
So that is heavily inspired by sort of the X-Men world. In a lot of ways, partially from just the history. And, you take the history of the X-Men where the legend is that people have started to evolve to have these powers. And it's just a natural course of human evolution. So I kind of took that idea and said, okay, well, if that's the course of evolution that we're going through right now, what happens? What does the world look like in 500 years? How has it changed? 500 years. I don't put a specific, that's sort of in my head. It's somewhere between 500 and 1,000 years in the future. And if that evolution continues, then eventually people with powers are going to be the majority, right?
Yeah.
So if they're the majority, what's that world going to look like? You're not going to have like superhero teams anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone's
everyone's going to be like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's sort of where I developed.
It's really creative.
That's sort of where I developed that world of, everyone sort of has a job that coincides with whatever their ability is, which makes it really hard for those people who don't have abilities.
So, speaking of, so this is the book that, for those of you who are listening and you're not aware, or watching, you're viewing, depending on what your preference is, because, anyways, this is the book that I got from him. He was at Famous Faces and Funnies too, our local comic book store, and he was letting people buy. This is the one that I bought. And so could you please now tell us about the Olympian a little bit, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Olympian, this is a much more personal story. This is one I pulled many more elements from my life. It's not like a self-insert by any means. But one of the things that kind of sparked my desire to write this one, and this is weird sometimes how brains work and how the creative process can work. I don't recommend anybody try and follow my particular creative process.
What did you do?
It's just the way my brain jumps from one thing to another sometimes. Long time ago, my wife, who's her name is Constance, and she had just mentioned casually when we were first dating that, when she was a kid and she'd go to like tourist locations and things like that, it was super rare for her to ever see like a magnet or a mug or something with her name on it. Like, when you go into those places and they've got keychains and mugs with all the different names.
I've never seen my name on it. My name is spelled Jordon, but it's Jordon.
Right.
And so I never see my name on anything.
And so she had that too. And then we were having our son, and we knew we were going to name him Vasilis. We were naming him after his grandfathers. So her father's name is Vasilis. My father's name is John. Those are his first two names. And I also knew that he was going to have that exact same problem of going into all these tourist places and never seeing his name anywhere except on his like schoolwork. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I've kind of got this idea bumping around for a comic book. Why not name him after my son?
Yeah.
So I took that. So so his name's going to be Vasilis, and the last name Meyer is actually a family name on my side. It's my great grandmother's name. And so I was like, okay, so we're going to do sort of similar to what our family is, where he's half Greek descent and then half not Greek, bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And, and the town I grew up in, this town in New Hampshire called Keene, had a really surprisingly large Greek population for being such a small town. I was like, you know what? Most superhero comics, it's set in the big city. It's this, it's that. You never see a superhero that just kind of comes up in this little town up in New England.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be kind of a cool place to set it. And you get a different dynamic because you get small town dynamics and everybody knows everybody and it's real hard to keep a secret. And so I thought that could be a really cool angle on it. So there's a lot of things in that book that I know you've probably never been to Keene, New Hampshire, but there's a lot of things in the book that people from Keene would recognize. So I dropped in a lot of the little Easter eggs, and from that standpoint, it actually is the town. Did you ever see the original Jumanji movie?
Yes, I love that movie. I love that movie. It's so good.
Keene. That was Keene, the town where all the animals were stampeding through town square.
Yeah.
That was Keene.
The more you know. More you know. I did not know that until 2 seconds ago.
Exactly. So there's that was where my senior year in high school, they filmed it. So I was actually there when they did that.
That's interesting.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how and then, you get into the Greek thing, the Greek mythology, tie it in. How are we going to make him have this adventure, and where's it going to go from there? And that's kind of how it happened.
So the first thing that I noticed, because that's just how comic books are with the front cover. First thing that you're going to see of the book is the front cover. So when I first walked in the comic book store that day, I was drawn in because I was like, holy crap, this inking is so good. And the stylized, look at the artist in me was drooling. And that for both Heroes and Zeros and the Olympian. So I must ask you, because I wonder how this works for indie comics. How do you find artists for your independent books?
I've been so lucky. I've been so lucky on the art. So we'll start with the Olympian, because that was the one that you were just fawning over, appropriately so.
Yes.
And the artist on that, D Fish, is a friend I've known for years, and so she's somebody that again, she's known my wife since they were, since before I knew my wife, and then she was one of the first people I met after when we first got together. And so Dee has been, just prolific and done so much great work in comics and comic strips, in just about, and puts out her own stuff. She writes, she draws, she does it all. And she helped me out a lot with Heroes and Zeros. So she actually designed the company logo, the Acorn Comics logo.
Oh, really?
And when I was doing, just kind of putting the files together for the printer, trying to get Heroes and Zeros together, I was having some trouble getting the cover elements to all look just right. And I was like, you know what? I need a pro. And I reached out to Dee, and she gladly helped me. And she did one of the variant covers as well. She also did the Scooby-Doo homage variant cover
Oh yeah.
Heroes and Zeros. So when I was
I hate to
thinking
interrupt
about,
you.
oh no, go ahead.
I'm wondering, really quickly, so you
Yeah.
could get back to what you were already saying, because it just now popped in my head. I'm such a bad interviewer.
Oh, they're good. Go for it.
Acorn Comics. Could you please tell us what this is very, very quickly, so that you could get back to what you were saying before I so
Yes,
rudely interrupted you? I am so sorry.
We nicknamed when my wife was pregnant. We didn't want to tell anybody our son's name, even though we had decided on it. So he just kind of got the nickname of our little acorn.
It's so adorable. That's so adorable.
That's where Acorn Comics came from.
Okay. So back to what you were saying about the artist.
I've always loved her work, and when I was trying to think of who I knew that would kind of capture the style I was looking for the Olympian, she came to mind immediately. Reached out to her, sent her the script, and she agreed to do it. And I'm just incredibly lucky that she said yes, because she's perfect for it, and she just absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. So, the Acorn Comics, this idea behind what Acorn really was, you were telling me a little bit about it when I asked you about Image.
Before we get to that, now I'm going to be the bad one.
Oh, okay.
Because you asked about both comics, and I can't shout out D and not gush over Casey's art.
That would be very, very, very rude.
That would be very rude, and I'm not going to be rude. And
Casey, like, I noticed the layout on this page really impressed me. Microphone. This page in particular really impressed me.
Oh, just on the very first page.
Yeah, the very first page in particular. I was like, that's a good opener. That's a good opener.
Casey was a different story. I had no idea who Casey was. He didn't know me. And I basically found him through social media. Mm-hmm. And a lot of artists will do something a couple times a year called Portfolio Day, where they basically just come up and hashtag Portfolio Day and just share their artwork and say, hi, I'm a illustrator, I'm an inker, I'm a letterer, I'm whatever, I'm a colorist, whatever. Here's some samples of my work. Mm-hmm. And when I decided I was looking for somebody to do Heroes and Zeros with me, I just started looking for artists through Portfolio Day. Mm-hmm. And Casey was one of, I think, the last the top 3 or 4 where that I was looking at. I was like, man, he's dynamic. He's a great visual storyteller, and visual storytelling is much more important than technical proficiency.
Oh yeah,
I think he's also very technically proficient, but I look for storytelling first. Mm-hmm. And everything he had out there was great as far as storytelling. You could look at the panels, look at the pages, and you could have a pretty good idea of what was going on in the story, even without the words. Mm-hmm. And that's really important in the medium of comics, I think. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to, at first it was just do some character designs, see what this is. And it was a little bit of a test and say, okay, I want to see, number one, what you come up with, how you envision these characters that I've written. And number two, do we work well together? Mm-hmm. How's the communication? And everything clicked. And like I said, I'm really, really fortunate that he said yes.
Yeah.
Because he's been a dream to work with, an absolutely fantastic partner in this project. And like I say, we're almost done with issue 2.
Yeah.
And getting ready to put that out into the world soon.
Mm-hmm. So I go to an art school, and the little artist in me is just itching for this. I watched this YouTube video where CB Cebulski actually explained how an issue of Ultimate Spider-Man at the time was being made in like 2004.
Sure.
And
yes.
I was mesmerized by the script because it looks so similar to a movie script. So, do you know how movies? So, do you know what treatment is on when a movie's being made?
I know nothing about how to make movies.
So, treatment is just basically the planning of what the script itself is going to be. So, I gotta wonder, is there a similar sort of treatment-like process for making a script for a comic book?
So I think everybody's process is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing it, again, I didn't know how to format a script. So I went out and looked for examples. Gail Simone has several out there you can look at of how she does it. And, even talking to some people, like some letterers gave me some advice of, hey, make sure you put the actual dialogue underneath the name of the character, not on the same line. It just makes it a whole lot easier to copy and paste it over before you format it. So simple things like that. Now, as far as the structure of the script, I think what you may be getting then, now there are different methods of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'll hear a lot about the Marvel method,
Oh,
which is the
yeah.
traditional Marvel method where,
Yeah, that tortured Steve Ditko.
well, and that's
the poor guy.
right. And so where you'll do the basic plot and put the plot out there, have the artist do the art, and then do the dialogue afterward to fit with the art.
Mm-hmm.
And and I get why certain people, and again, going back to George Perez,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want to work any other way because he felt like he wasn't doing his part of the job if the writer was telling him what each panel was supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people that prefer that way, but for me, like, I didn't want an artist, especially an artist I didn't particularly know,
Mm-hmm.
to think I was trying to, pawn off all the hard work on them. So
Yeah.
the way I do it, I do more the DC style, which is full script, panel by panel. This is what I'm thinking. But I also tell the artists, think of it as a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a better idea to move us from point A to point B, you got free reign. Do it. And then afterwards, especially because, when you're doing it as an indie, you don't have like an editor in chief you're reporting to, or
Yeah.
you don't have an editor that's looking over it saying, giving you notes. It's more collaborative just between the artist and the writer.
Yeah.
But most of the time, if I get art from Casey or if I get art from D and they've made changes, I look at it, I look at the script, I'm like, nah, you did it better than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I'll adjust the dialogue if I need to. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I was like, yeah, I might say like, hey, can we try it maybe the way I wrote it, or maybe I see what they did and it sparks a different idea that I think might be even better. And you
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, how about if we do it like that? And that's sort of the back and forth and the collaboration that really makes the comics great in the end.
Yeah. So the way that you talk about how great the medium is, I have to wonder what's the most important part to you of reading a comic? What's the thing in a comic book that you are looking for that determines how much you're gonna enjoy it? Because for me, it's I like seeing how the artist is able to create something out of very simple point A to point D and seeing B and C get developed and this collaboration. It's always interesting. But what to you is the biggest thing about a comic book?
I don't know if there is one bit, like, as a reader, I don't know if there's one specific thing, because
Mhm.
I'll tell you, like, there have been comics where I've really loved the story, but
And then the
maybe
art was just meh.
the art was meh, yeah. Or, I honestly, and this is weird to say, I think meh lettering takes me out of it more than meh
Oh
artwork.
yeah, I see
Like,
what you mean.
the lettering is so important to it. Um, and again, like going back to mine, like, I'm so lucky to have the letters I've worked with on those two projects because they're fantastic and they get it. They get what they're supposed to be doing and they understand the books and what they need. But like, sometimes I can look at a comic and the artwork is phenomenal, the overall story is phenomenal, and the dialogue is meh.
Mhm.
Um, but I can still enjoy the different elements of it, like.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's an art piece.
Well, right. And at the end of the day, it's about art. It's about the visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the story.
Yeah.
So however that story gets communicated, and it is a mishmash of all those things, of the visual art and the words and how the words are put on the paper, visually. And, I love all of it, and I can be forgiving of all of it if the rest of it works,
Mm-hmm. So when we talk about comic runs, I see a lot of the time in online spaces, and it always kind of frustrates me a little. So please, no one debate about any of this. We're just two people talking about comics. People will oftentimes fight. I don't know why so many people oftentimes fight over like what the best run for a certain character is. So of course your favorite character is the Hulk. So what is your favorite? Best and favorite are two different things. What's your favorite Hulk run?
Okay, my absolute favorite Hulk run was that Future Imperfect story that I was mentioning earlier. And again, this is an older one. I think it came out late 80s, if I'm not mistaken. But
around the time when like comics are going through a pretty big creative shift.
It was
because everyone wanted to be Watchmen.
Well, to a certain extent, but George never did. Like, George was unapologetically a comic book creator.
Yeah.
And I think Peter was the same way. And actually, some of the thing that kind of led me to that series was, Peter David had written some incredible Hulk novels.
Mm-hmm.
And I had read those because I'm like, I love the Hulk character. Why not read this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was looking for more of his work, and I found Future Imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that story, it introduces what to me is one of my favorite villain in the Marvel universe, and one of the most underutilized villains, I think, which is the Maestro. And I know they've brought him back a little bit recently and put him in a couple of, and he had even his own limited series for a while. But the Maestro, if you're not familiar, is the Hulk in the future.
Oh,
and you learn that the Hulk is basically immortal because of his gamma powers. He has the same healing factor as like Wolverine or any of those guys.
Oh.
And so he just constantly heals and heals and heals. And eventually, after decades and decades and maybe even centuries of humanity hunting him, and at a point where he's merged his intellect from Banner with his Hulk body.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not only big and strong, he's also
I think I know what you're talking
super
about
intelligent.
Now.
He basically got tired of being hunted and said, I'm smarter than all of you. I'm stronger than all of you. I'm your ruler now. Dang. And he kind of snapped.
Imagine if that was Smart Hulk in Endgame.
Well, right. But that's Smart Hulk is the beginning of that transition.
Yeah.
And that was where, and so that storyline is basically somebody from this future where he's become this despot, finds one of Dr. Doom's old time travel devices and comes back to the past to bring the good Hulk to the future because he's the only one who can beat himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So one of my, I think I might as well just say that it's my favorite. It's the Bendis and Bagley run on Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Chef's kiss. Because some of the first comics I ever read was like the old Lee and Ditko stuff from the 60s. So, from like the Mighty Marvel Masterworks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was just like, when I was first reading it for the first time, it blew me to see with how perfectly they were able to take that old stuff and be like, we're just going to take this and then we're just going to make it completely different, you know?
Yeah. And that's thing. You can't go wrong with the classics.
But the modern stuff is always so interesting.
And it's evolved. It's evolved so much over the years, because back then, I think they did believe they were writing for children mostly.
Yeah.
And you could sort of see that in some of the writing.
Yeah, like how characters were always explaining what they were doing in panels.
Right. It was targeted more towards a younger audience. And there are still plenty of comics that are targeted for and appropriate for a younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, we've now learned that this is not a medium that has to only cater to that. And that's why things have evolved. And you have, to me, some of the best stories being told are in comics.
Yeah. And because I seriously don't know why 9-year-old me thought it would be a good idea to read Kraven's Last Hunt. I don't know. I don't know why 9-year-old me thought that would be. I mean, I liked it.
9-year-old me was reading Stephen King, so don't be too hard on yourself, you know?
So I think that the thing that makes the comics medium so special, and in my opinion, the greatest medium of entertainment ever, is this collaboration. It's an assembly line, right? Have a writer, penciler, inker, colorist, and beyond, it's collaboration, right?
And everybody adds their own perspective on it.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. So yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I love this. We'll have to talk more about comics, whether it's on screen or not. I'm always happy to talk comics.
So, you should probably promote yourself and your social media, if you could do that for me, please.
Absolutely. Find Acorn Comics. We're on Threads. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And, of course, we have Heroes and Zeros issue 2 is coming to Kickstarter on October 7th. So you can sign up for the pre-launch at hzcomic.com.
Yeah. And if you're watching this through video, or if you're watching this, it'll probably be somewhere on screen. I don't know. I'm not editing this.
That's okay. That's okay. See up there, you see the cover that you had put up?
Yeah.
The Heroes and Zeros issue that you had?
Well, so that's the Olympian. This is the Heroes and Zeros issue. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, hold it to your other side, because right now it's behind me. There we go. So that's the original art right up there.
I think you froze.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, you're back.
Yep.
Yay.
That right behind me, that's the original. Mm-hmm. That's the original art. That's the original line art that Tom Rainey drew.
Wow, that's very nice. Yeah. And if you want to find me, you will probably see me often talking about comic books on my TikTok. I'm the Nerd Lab Spidey. This is not my room, but I like to call my room my Nerd Lab. So you can find I am the Nerd Lab Spidey. You can find me on the Nerd Lab Spidey at TikTok. Just typically talking about Spider-Man, because he is the GOAT. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciated you
for having me, Jordon. This was great.
Yeah, I really appreciated you. We definitely learned a lot here. Please, I'm begging you. I'm gonna have a heart failure if you don't read the comic. I'm gonna have a heart failure, and I'm gonna be so sad. So please, if my guilt tripping has worked, do it. Okay, thank you.
Listen to Jordon, people. Listen to Jordon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna dip now. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
All right, now I have to do the part where I get my mom. Hold on, because I'm not allowed to press the red button.
We are the Blender community, where business and media mix.